we're running close to the end of time, but since you mentioned Hollywood, I can't resist. Howard Zinn has himself a movie that's going to be coming out called. It's called Soul Plane 2. No. Yes. I'm sorry, go ahead. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's called Original Zinn. No. Zingelina. Moving on. No, it's called The People Speak. And I was hoping that you could say something to everybody about what is The People Speak, who is in it, and what is its purpose.
I'm glad you asked that question. Yeah, I wasn't going to advertise this film just because I'm involved with it. But The People Speak is a documentary film which is based roughly on my book, People's History of the United States, and based also on a book that I did together with Anthony Arnove called Voices of the People's History, in which we collected sort of 200 historical documents, voices of people in history, not presidents, not generals, people, and agitators and organizers and dissidents, and So what we've done is we're making a documentary film in which we use the historical documents read by actors. And so we have, for instance, Viggo Mortensen reading the words of a member of the IWW when he's sentenced to jail for opposing World War I. We have Josh Brolin reading from Dalton Trumbo's book, Johnny Got His Gun, which is the most powerful anti-war novel you will ever have read. You should read it, Johnny Got His Gun. We have Marissa Tomei reading the words of a Lowell Mill girl of the 1830s, and also she reads an angry anti-Bush statement by Cindy Sheehan against the war. We have Sean Penn reading the words of Kevin Tillman, who's the brother. Do you remember the Pat Tillman case, the football player who friendly fire? His family didn't accept it meekly, as some families do these things. They didn't accept it meekly, and his brother Kevin Tillman's. So we have Danny Glover reading Martin Luther King and Langston Hughes, and there's a lot of really wonderful actors reading these very powerful documents. We have Morgan Freeman reading Frederick Douglass. When Frederick Douglass is asked in the 1850s, before the Civil War, Frederick Douglass is asked to speak on the 4th of July. And he says, "Why are you asking me, a black man, to celebrate the 4th of July?" Anyway, Morgan Freeman does it. And it's better than I do. Anyway, this is a documentary film. We're finishing editing it. In fact, I'm going tomorrow to Los Angeles to join Anthony Arnove and Chris Moore to sort of try to finish editing this film. It's going to be on the History Channel sometime in September. So look forward. And I just want to say one more thing, Dave, since it's so nice mentioning this documentary. Dave Zirin has written the best sports books there are, really. And you'll want to, if you haven't seen him yet, there's no sports writer like him. Really, there isn't. So, yeah, get his stuff. The first thing I ever read by Dave Zirin was about Muhammad Ali and other athletes who had spoken out on important issues. And it was a revelation to come across a sports writer with a political point of view and who writes so well and with so much combination of fun and politics.
Thank you. I feel like the young man in the anti-drug commercial who says, I learned it by watching you. But in a good way. But that kid actually went to my college. We made his life hell. But as we wrap up, just show of hands by people if you have ever lent a people's history of the United States to a friend or given it as a gift to somebody. Wow. For those of you in YouTube land, that's the most hands we've gotten this entire. That was almost a packed house raising their hand. This is Madison, Wisconsin. That's true. See, why do you have to say that? I was about to say this is Alabama. Thank you very much. Yes. Like, welcome to Pulo, Mississippi. But before we leave, I obviously, for me, that's book number one of what I would give to a young person who is at least starting to engage with the idea that maybe the world is not as it should be. But what is a book that you would recommend, not by Howard Zinn, to give to a young person?
My pet goat.
Ooh. Well, I think I would recommend Johnny Got His Gun by Dalton Trumbo. Because a young person is in high school is going to be faced with military recruiters who come to the high school. The young person could be facing with major television stations parroting administration arguments for doing this and doing that. And the book had such a powerful effect on me when I read it as a teenager. I mean, it set me against war forever. And so, that's one book I would recommend, yes.
Thank you very much. Everybody, Howard Zinn.